Welcome to Pull the Pin Radio, a place where average veterans come to share their opinions about the world we live in. We can't guarantee you're going to like our opinions.
But we're going to love giving it to you.
I'm Jim.
I'm Ryan.
And I am Hugh.
So let's pull the pin ready. All right, gentlemen, welcome back. Shout outs. I always got to give my shout outs to Johnny and Christine. I saw your comments again. I wish I had more people and more help to read them and respond. Reply and respond. That's one word, right? Respond.
Respond. Yes.
It is now.
Okay, I just put that one out. So we'd love to respond to you, but that's not happening right now because we are hardworking men, average veterans that actually have to go to work. None of us wrote a book, right? No, you guys haven't wrote a book about all your special forces stuff, have you?
I haven't even read a book.
Oh, well, there you go. So there you go. So we're not making
Somebody's
millions.
not from the Air Force.
That's right.
Well, the Air Force reads books before; they don't read them after.
We have pretty pictures in our manual.
Yeah. So, anyways, that's sorry, the phone's distracting again. So that's what we got here. You two, I appreciate you guys showing up. Any other disclaimers we need? No. Who cares? All right. Well, because normally we say that, you got to listen to us because we're veterans. We know everything. But that's Nate's thing, and I don't know if you guys want to pick that up or not. But trust us because we know better. So what we're going to talk about today, right? That's what we're trying to discuss now.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. And I got an article here I pulled up that maybe we could start with. Maybe you guys be interested in. This is the Republican senator demands ABC News turn over any pre-debate communication with Harris. You guys know what that's about?
Hell yeah, that's about. I mean, you could tell that was a rigged debate if I ever saw it. I don't know if you guys saw and I don't know if it's true or not, but I saw that YouTube chatter afterwards, pointing out to her earring looking like a microphone in her ear and things like that. And,
the earring, yeah.
Yeah, there is no way that girl's that smart. I've seen her in too many other situations where she just comes across as just ridiculously. I can't even. Without being rude and being called all sorts of canceled names.
You're going to be anyway. You're homophobic and not homophobic.
Yeah.
Sorry. She might be gay. No, she's not gay. She's married. You're going to be misogynist and racist.
Oh, yeah.
No matter what, you criticize anybody of anything.
That's true. That is true. And I as far as what I've seen, obviously she's behind Joe Biden, meaning he's the smarter one of the two, and that doesn't say a lot, but she didn't get one electoral vote when she ran for this thing. So how, the whole thing's a rigged thing.
Well,
it's crazy.
You remember too that they actually said that she's nervous in crowds and things like that, so she has to rehearse.
Yeah.
And so that looked like she rehearsed for months on something she didn't know what was going to be coming. Yep. Or somebody was feeding it while she was doing it. So it was a little suspicious. But let's go to our master debater, Hugh there.
Hey, look, we all got to be good at something, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like, if you're going to say, hey, I want to see all of your, pre-debate communication with Harris, I mean, okay, if you're going to request it, request all of it. What was the pre-debate communication with the Trump camp? I mean, because you can do leading information and you can also do misleading information. I mean, if they're feeding questions that they're going to ask to the Harris camp beforehand and they're giving the same information to the other camp and they're just not reading it, well, whose fault is that? Not to say that is or isn't what happened, but that could also tip the scales in the other direction. Because if they're saying, okay, here are the questions that we're going to ask, and they're giving the Harris camp the correct questions, but they're also, going to the other side and saying, hey, here are the questions that we're going to ask, and those aren't actually the questions that got asked. Well, that's something else entirely, right?
Do you know what prompted this? There was a leaked ABC person. We don't know if it's true or false. We don't know, but obviously, I agree with Ryan. It's rigged no matter whether this is true or not.
Oh, they're all rigged.
But there was a leaked document stating that it was definitely rigged toward Harris, that she got sample questions, that she was, they told her they couldn't do anything about the mics on and off, but in concession, they promised not to give her off-limits questions. One about her cousin or somebody. She's got some relative that did something really bad. and they weren't going to ask about
You
some
mean
other stuff.
Joe Biden? Oh, wait. Sorry. Wrong candidate. Wrong candidate.
They weren't. You're right. They weren't going to ask about Joe Biden's illness, and she got to pick the camera angles. And I don't know if you noticed, the whole thing, the camera angles, like she got to pick what angle she was viewed on. I
Yeah.
would
I
like to
mean,
go back and scrub it to see if they ever viewed her from the other side, which maybe the hair was covering the actual earpiece. I don't know. But that was the concessions allegedly that ABC gave her.
I
You
don't
know,
think that's too much to ask for. I mean,
well, hold on, wait. You're
before
talking about
you
the
and I go
question,
into
though.
record, well, yeah, I'm just talking about camera angles. I mean,
Yeah.
Jim and I had a long debate about, he's only allowed to shoot me from this side,
And
before
since
we
he's the
record.
master debater, he wins all the
Exactly.
time.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, I honestly don't. I believe she probably did have the question. I think that's where the whole thing really stems from, is that you're not supposed to have all those questions. You have the categories, sure, but you don't have the exact questions. You know in general what they're going to ask, but you don't have the details of what they're going to ask. You're
Well,
going to
even
go
the
through that.
topics, right? Topics,
Yeah,
call it topics.
topics. Yeah,
You can
yeah,
definitely say, hey, these are the topics we're going to cover because this
yeah.
is what the American people want to know.
And you know that going into it, you know what the people are already asking for, so you know what they're going to. You should have an idea of what they're going to ask, but to be to. I mean, to have almost really what I saw from it, there was no real hard questions to her and no follow up to it. When they asked her basically about her policies, her answer, well, we know America's struggling. We know it's hard to buy a house. Well, what's your
I
policy?
I
Thank you
grew
for
up a middle class person, and I
yeah,
had to work around farmers and plumbers, and
yeah.
yeah,
Thank you for just throwing out a bunch of bullshit. But answer the question. Firstly,
yeah.
her policies came out that we're going to give $6,000 for the first year of a child's life for child's tax credit.
And then
Well,
the
okay.
housing, $25,000 for first time homeowners or something.
Right. So what about the next year? What about this year? I mean, seriously, I've got two kids already. I got one who's in high school, one's about to graduate high school, one's in middle school. That's great. I'm glad you're doing that for first time, home buyers. I'm glad you're doing that for the first year of child's tax credit. It doesn't do anything that's a small group of people you're trying to appease. The smallest group out there right now. And honestly, there's so many state funded options for kids, for parents who have first year. We were on the WICS program here in Georgia, which we got free diapers, we got free formula and things like that. The extra 6,000 is going to help me how? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great to have, but the state covered a lot of that federal the child's first, second, and third year stuff.
But there, Ryan, there's a difference between a tax credit, like the child tax credit, and giving people other taxpayers money,
Right?
like the student buy. Like if
Oh,
I'm paying taxes and you're giving me a credit, that takes off the amount of taxes I have to pay.
yeah,
That's my money anyway. That's different than like the welfare system or me saying, hey, I'm going to pay off all these student loans with everybody else's money.
that's right. I agree with that. I do agree with that. My point being, is not a bad thing to give to the people. It's just such a small demographic of people you're making these policies for. It's not going to help America. It's going to help this small group of people.
Well,
What
maybe
is that
that
going to
was,
do for me right now going to buy groceries? What do I care if you're giving this person 6,000 tax back?
but,
What do I care if you're giving this new home buyer stuff? I can't go get groceries because the freaking price of milk and cheese and all that. I can't go. It's funny right now. We're coming up on election. All of a sudden, the gas price here in Georgia just dropped the bottom out of it,
yeah,
right?
Plummet.
yeah, all of it. Yeah.
I mean, it's obvious what
I'm
they're trying to
stacking
do.
up right now, filling up all my gas cans.
All your
Yep.
your tarps in the back of your pickup. Hey, but I was gonna say, Ryan, though, in all fairness, like to her point, and I think she pointed this out at Trump, is that does she really have a policy to give, and should she?
No,
Like they all really should be concepts, not policies. The only difference being is she's literally in the White House right now with the president.
and could have done it.
So she could be doing this stuff right now with the president,
Yep.
but she's not. But I don't expect her to have a policy to say this, that, and the next thing, because most of it is promises anyway, right? Trump even said, "I'm going to build a wall." You can call that a policy, or you can call that a concept. And I think he even got pressed on that stuff, right? If I'm
Not
not
not the
mistaken.
debate he did, no, but honestly, he did start the wall. He built a lot of that wall.
No, no, I mean about policies. He
Oh,
got pressed on his policies, and he said something about concepts, and they ridiculed him for that.
I mean, yeah, I think they did too. But the idea, you're right in that aspect. That it is technically a concept. You bring it in, and you're going to try to push your policy. I understand exactly where you're coming from with it. There's no guarantee that what you're going to put in place is going to get passed. Um, with that said, if you look at, I mean, how do I say this right? she has no way to help the average American. She has a way to help this small group. If we're looking between her and Trump, Trump has already proven himself. He's already gone through there and shown how he's going to help America. He did it for 4 years. We had a great 4 years. Kamala, the same thing for 4 years. It's been terrible for the last 4 years. All of a sudden, we're about to come on election. Oh, we're going to make everything look great for you guys. We're going to do all this stuff for you guys right now. It doesn't take away the last 3.5 years of hardship.
Well, she is promising for small groups, but there's a lot of small groups. I think there's
Yeah.
reparations, and I think Hugh over here, he can benefit from those child tax credit stuff because I think he's got a farm full of kids. But well, I guess it doesn't matter, right? Because this is the same party that's pushing for abortions, right? So there ain't a lot of kids to be paying for in their world.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, it's actually probably her saving her tax plan or income plan. It's
No.
not a, yeah, it's just to save money. We're going to save money by supporting all the kids we don't want you to have.
Right. And that the other side of this, that you mentioned the abortion thing, you know, everybody's pushing on Trump about the abortions. The fact that abortions are down at the state level now. That's where it should have been in the first place. It should have never been a federal thing.
Right.
This government, and people are so naive to believe that the federal government was built to be some massive all-knowing thing. It's not. It was meant to house a standing military,
And protect us from,
and it was meant to have foreign relations. That's it.
Yeah.
And where it's gotten out of control, now they're in control of education. Education's got to shit since the federal government has taken control of it. Trump wants to take that and put it back in the states, and I'm all for that, 100%. I think the states can run their people better than the federal government ever could. That's how we get to a point where we give the federal government so much control, we turn social. We turn into a socialist group, which is exactly where the Democrats are trying to push us towards right now.
Right. So let me lower your blood pressure for a second, Ryan. There, Hugh, did you watch the debate?
No, I didn't.
Did
I
you see any highlights?
No, there's enough stupidity in the world without listening to politicians talk.
Well, no. I was going to ask you about the moderators because that's, I mean, what all this stuff is about. I just wanted to, because from a perspective, because you're my most leaning liberal guy I know, I wanted to know from your perspective if you see that what the rest of the world saw, how biased the moderators were, never fact-checking Kamala and fact-checking, even arguing with Donald about their own opinion on what sarcasm was.
Well, I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, everybody knows that each of these individual news organizations, and you can pick whichever one you want, okay? Everybody knows that, ABC is a left-leaning organization. Everybody knows Fox News is a right-leaning organization. I mean, they all have their own agendas that they're going to push, okay? If this was a debate hosted by Fox News, everybody would be making the exact same complaints, probably in the opposite direction, right?
But
I mean, it's just how it is. The politicians, honestly, should be the ones who are pushing back against, saying, no, historically, I've seen how your debates go. I know that you have, your own organizational agenda that you're going to try and push, and just basically just say, fuck you, I'm not going to do it.
Did you know that the past, they used to go through a bipartisan commission for debates?
And that's what they should.
That's what they used to have, a bipartisan commission that actually come up with the debates, the moderators, and everything.
I mean, really, I
they didn't use that now, though. They didn't use it.
I would love to see a libertarian orchestrated debate between the two major parties, because I feel like
they'd ask the hardest questions and they drill on them.
That would be a fucking grill session.
Yep.
Yeah. And
would
everybody would have charred.
I say put it on YouTube, let Elon Musk and Nancy Pelosi run the thing, and I guarantee you're going to get the best of both sides, and you have nobody else trying to freaking middle.
Wait. Nancy's got to invest in YouTube first, and then she'll go on.
Right.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah.
She's got to figure out how to use the internet, man. She can't even use her phone. She's got a flip phone.
Because did you see that? I saw the male moderator, he was on a talk show, and he came out, said something about, he denies the bipartisanship, but yet he literally told Trump that he didn't take his comments as sarcasm, like he spoke for the world. And then the other lady, turns out, was a sorority sister of Kamala's or something.
Oh, God.
From a fraternity or a sorority fraternity, whatever. I don't know what they are anymore. So they clearly had some bias and should have removed themselves anyway. But
absolutely,
I'm just like I'm kind of, and I think the good part is ABC is getting backlash for this. I think they are getting
And they should.
backlash even from other news agencies because it was so obviously biased that they fact checked everything from Trump, even to the point where they're almost arguing with him and never contested. Even she did the old, the people on both sides hoax that has been debunked. And like, I mean, all you do is watch the video and you can debunk it yourself. But she did that and they never said a thing about it. I think there was like 11, something like 11 things that they didn't fact check her on that were complete lies.
Oh, I believe it. Absolutely.
I mean, who is ABC's parent company? Anybody here know that?
Disney.
Yes. And
Hello,
I mean,
wokeness.
I mean, is there a harder left leaning corporation in this country than Disney?
No,
I
they're
don't
terrible.
think so. I mean they're so blue. If it was me as a Republican candidate, and my people came to me and said, "Hey, are you interested in doing an ABC hosted debate?" I just off the gate, no, absolutely not. Because I mean, at, I mean, everybody knows you're walking into the lion's den
Yeah.
in that instance. I mean, Donald Trump should have known that he was walking in to get railroaded, and he's saying now, after this happened, oh, I'm not going to debate Kamala again. That's a mistake.
No, very much so.
Yeah, why do you think? I mean, her side came out and immediately wanted another one. Why do
Because
you
they
think
want it
if
on
she thinks,
ABC.
Well, yeah, because she's walking away from this thing smelling like a rose because the whole fucking fortress was built for her.
but do you think that she would think that Trump would accept another lopsided debate like this and not swing to the other side? Like, would he
Well,
not
he
say,
was
"Okay,
dumb
we'll
enough
do
to it
one"?
once.
Right, but we'll do it, but it has to be like on Fox or some, Tucker Carlson moderated thing.
I don't even believe as much as, and I know, Fox is always supposed, it
No, they're
historically has
corrupt
always
too.
been Republican side, but it isn't anymore. It really
No,
isn't. I mean, if you watch them just like you watch anybody else,
they're
they're still going to
rhinos.
try to debunk nothing but Trump. It's just like when you're watching the conventions, right? Kamala came out and said whatever BS she wanted to say. Every Democrat came out and said nobody said a word about it. The second the Trump's, the Republican the Republican convention happened, they were all over it. Oh well, that's debunked. We're going to debunk this. We're going to fact check every. They didn't fact check anything from Democrats. It's
No.
ridiculous. It's so lopsided. It makes me sick. It makes me disgusted to be an American. I swear to God, if Kamala wins, I'm moving.
Move to Canada.
Move to Canada. I may not. No, I may just go even south.
I said hi.
I may go to South America.
Yeah, I was saying Canada's worse. I wouldn't go there. Go to like Venezuela. I hear the crime rate's low.
Yeah, yeah, it is. Yes. I don't know if you've heard like this whole the border situation, which I don't think they really dove into enough. And I know Trump was trying to get that conversation started throughout the whole debate, but the whole border situation is way worse than they're even letting on. I know the whole Trump got out with them eating dogs thing. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's not. I have no idea.
Well,
I
it's
know
turning out there's actually evidence popping up.
I know there are
Lots of
people
it.
in this world that
Mhm.
eat animals, and that's what they do. They eat domestic animals. But if you look at like Colorado, and what is that?
Aurora,
Is it Aurora? Is it
where they took over the hotels. Aurora.
Yeah, yeah. They took with the hotels. It was apartment complexes.
Yep, that's what I meant.
They
Apartments.
took up
Right.
whole apartment complexes these criminals have, and the city, rather than having the police go in and arrest these people or anything else, have literally said, "Well, these apartments are condemned." But they weren't
Right.
condemned before they got taken over. Now they're saying they're condemned so they don't lose face. That's ridiculous. I mean, we're under attack. You can say
Mhm.
however you want. This administration has literally left America open and under attack by everybody who wanted to attack us.
But what's the end goal, Ryan? What's the end goal? Like I've said this before. I think you can contest that Trump. He may be selfish, greedy, in it for himself, his glory, whatever, but he understands that America falls, he goes with it.
Yes.
Where these other people, I think, are globalists. So do they what? Destroy this country and move, or destroy this and let a new regime come in and take over? Or like, what's the end goal that they're so eager to destroy this place?
From what I'm not a conspiracy theorist in that aspect, but I have watched a lot of these things lately, and what I'm hearing is, there's people that say like the Democrats are wanting to depopulate the earth, and they're starting that by trying to turn kids gay and all this stuff, so they won't have children. And if you look at Trump's right, like what is it, 1 in 5 are now saying they're gay. Where when I grew up, that was a very, very uncommon thing to have a gay person in your school. It wasn't every day.
Right,
I think we had one.
But elaborate to the extent of that. What is still the benefit? Because I think this movement, the gay stuff, the abortion stuff, all helps us. Because the people that are going to do this are the ones that favor that side anyway.
Right.
So unless they're outright killing the enemy of them, I don't see the benefit of them depopulating or depopulate. What's the word?
No, I think
I
you're
make
right.
them up as I go anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
Decrease the surplus population.
There, yeah.
There you go.
You said surplus, like there is a
Scrooge said.
surplus.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what
But-
Scrooge said.
Scrooge. But you
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Like, how does
I
that
get
help?
what you're saying. You know, I don't know the end result. I'm unfortunately not privy to that information. You know, but at the end point, I can see it. I can see where we're heading.
That's my liberal friend. What are you guys planning?
I was going to say, let me ring in with my
That's why this box is purple.
not a liberal, but I mean by Jim's standards, I am much more less right than Jim. I see what you did there, Jim.
But that's not good because I gave him the blue.
I was about to mention mine was purple.
It matches his shirt. But no, so to comment on what you said about, when I was a kid, we didn't have any gay kids in school. But like historically speaking, if you look back,
How did you hide it? Is the question.
beyond
Everybody wants to know, how did you
modern
hide
history.
I couldn't come out till I joined the army, and then we were full of them.
But I mean, same-sex relations didn't develop a taboo in human society until relatively recent in human history.
Sure,
Like-
the Romans did it all the time, right?
Exactly. I
Right.
mean, Alexander the Great had a harem of, 500, and 200 of those were dudes.
What happened to Rome again?
Well,
It
yeah,
fell, right,
exactly.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean,
I get what you're saying. I do. I get what you're saying.
I mean, it's not like it's a relatively recent invention. It's just, there's been, a negative stigma around it for so long. Those people never left.
Right.
The inclusion of them into society is nothing new. It's just,
I have no problem with gays. I really
Well,
don't.
so-
I'm just
so-
saying that I think there's forces trying to make kids question their own sexuality now. And while yes, worldwide, you're right. It's not a modern. It's not a what'd you say it? A new
recent-
concept. Yeah. It's been around for a long time. America, it's a fairly new concept.
Well, because we're Christian based.
We are Christian based.
That's why I wasn't really
no, it's
accepting.
because we're new.
We're
I
new.
mean, in the
You're
grand
right.
scheme
You are
of the
new.
world,
We are new.
Well,
America
right, but we
is
didn't
new.
come over here and make all the Indians gay.
No.
No, we didn't do that. We actually preserved families in the thing. But anyways, we're going down a lot of rabbit holes, and I can look at the time, and we're running pretty late. So I'm going to pull a plug on this one.
Can I ask you a question? Is this timed? Do you have to have a 30-minute, or can we keep going? Can we not just keep rolling?
Well,
this
you
thing? 'Cause
come
I'm
back
having
for
fun.
another episode. You come back for another
All right,
episode.
I'll come back for
because-
another
To
episode.
be
Yeah.
continued. Tune in next
Right.
time.
Yeah, we
That's
can
right.
definitely
Next
dive into something
episode.
different in another
Yeah.
episode. But what happens is our 3 viewers will get bored if they have to wait too long to watch us. A lot of them got jobs too, so we
I
got to
got
keep
it,
it a
I
little
got it.
shorter.
Well, you got to
Yeah.
join the next time just to see Jim actually come out of the closet.
Yes, I'm going to come out the closet and rescue these 2 guys and bring them back
You
in
got
where they
you
came
got to
from.
show him your metrosexual hair.
Hey, look, I'm trying to tell you, brother. I'm trying to tell you, man. He used to be my boyfriend. Now I'm moving over to the good
There you
stuff. But anyways, that is all the time we have for this episode. Thank you, gentlemen, for showing up, or those of you who call yourselves gentlemen. Thank you all for watching, tuning in, like, share, and subscribe. Do all that cool stuff. And until then, Godspeed.
And pull the pin.
Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin Already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin Already.